Hey guys, RC here. We had some technical difficulties and I had to delete 2 episodes that I had recorded previously. I was having some sound issues, and so I have lost a little bit of time. We have gone ahead and simmed ahead, so I will just catch up at this point. And honestly, now that we've lost an hour of gameplay, not exactly sure where we were at, so we'll spend a little time just kind of catching up with where the fortress is. I had planned to start recording ahead a little bit and letting some time lapse until we started seeing some events occur, but this has caused me to want to go ahead and jump in and just play a little catch up in this episode. So starting here on the surface, everything should be pretty similar to what you had seen before. We do have our first militia room here with a barracks and a training room for a melee squad. We have our still, kitchen, and some other nuances down here, the butcher, the tanner, a fishery, dealing with food production. Our farm, we had done this area up here with a fortification as a slight early warning system. We do have a drawbridge here. There's something on it though. Oh, an iron crossbow. So somebody will have to pick that up at some point. Let's see, what else do we have? So we have the lever for that drawbridge here. We have manager and bookkeeper desks here, and our main stairway down into the fortress with a second early warning location here with 2 fortifications to see out to the north and to the west. We have our trade depot up here, and I had started in the my previous episode that I lost. We had started digging a access way for an internal depot, so we'll get rid of this one on the surface. We are building a warning room here where we will have a second story in here, and we'll put an animal in the second story there with fortifications around to see anything out in this area. And I do this. Some other people just like put a dog or something on a rope here, and the dog gets killed. Well, I don't like the dogs to get killed, so I put them in a second story here, and that keeps them safe from being attacked directly, because there will be no access into here. We'll seal this off completely. And with dogs and cats, you can do that. They don't need to eat, so they won't die. You can also do that, I believe, with birds like turkeys and ducks and things of that nature. So we'll do that here. We have the bridge that goes across the river, and we have another early warning area here. And this one we can see I've already started work on the second floor. So we have the up-down stairway here with a wood floor. We have walls on the 4 corners, and we're building in fortifications. And this will eventually have underground access. It'll go down a few levels, and our archer dwarfs will have access to come up that stairway into here and fire out from this area onto invaders in this area. Plus we'll have an animal up here looking out through the fortifications as another early warning system. And we want that early warning system to trigger while an invader is way out here or way out here. And I will add a third one down in this area in all likelihood. And what that does is it gives us lead time to be able to close our drawbridge if we need to. And that is our primary means of defense, is to close this drawbridge. And you saw what happened with the were creature that came in from up here. Without early warning, it can really get down into this area. Had we not had a couple of animals out here and our unfortunate dwarf that got killed right in this area, he would have gotten inside and wreaked havoc. Of course, he did get inside through a glitch, which hopefully we have addressed that now, and that can't happen again. So as we continue down, we have our internal area here. I was actually getting ready to check. All right, we did have a migration wave, so if we look at this real quick, we can see now we have a rabbit, a goat, the guinea pigs, a ewe and a llama and a reindeer cow that we just bought from a elven caravan, and a goat kid that came in with one of the migrants in our most recent group. So that's what's going on this level. We continue down, we have our bedroom level, and I am now starting to dig out another bedroom level, and you'll notice I have these larger bedrooms. Well, if we look at our noble screen, we have a mayor that has been elected, and the mayor needs a larger bedroom. So this will be our mayoral quarters with an office, a dining room, and a bedroom for the mayor. And as mayors change over and a new mayor is elected, that same room will stay for it's assigned to the position. And then with the additional people that we've had come in, we are opening up a new section of bedrooms, and that will give us some additional living space for the new dwarves that have come aboard. Moving down, we have our primary work floor. I have dug out a room here. We have some levers placed out. We have levers for all of our drawbridges. This one here is for our entry-level drawbridge. And then these three, I will show you those bridges as we move a little deeper into the fortress. We have our stone area here with our stone pile, and of course we talked about the quantum stockpile. Don't think we lost that episode. And we have our woodworking shops here with our wood quantum stockpile. I have built another depot inside here, and we will, once we clean out this one here, in fact we're going to go ahead and set that one to remove just to have that done. So now we will be trading inside, and you notice I have a drawbridge here. Oh, that reminds me while I'm thinking about it. We are going to place, well, since we haven't done this before, or maybe you don't remember, we're going to use B for build, T, Shift T, which is somewhere in here. I think it's traps and levers. There they are, Shift T, traps and levers. And then we want to place a lever, so lowercase l. And we're going to place this in the lower left-hand corner. And we're going to use a mechanism. And what I'm going to do is, when that's done, I'm going to hook that lever up to this bridge. We'll have to do that when we come back, but as I see things, I just want to make sure I do those. I have added in a craft store shop that is now working on wooden bolts with a repeatable job. We have a bower's workshop. We don't have metal crafting set up yet, so I wanted to get some basic crossbows made for our archers. I am building a leatherworker shop and a clothier shop with stockpiles for their, this will be bins of cloth and bins of leather. And then I've dug out this room, and in fact while we're here, I'm going to build just a small stockpile there for leather, for cloth, and leather on this side there. And I want to build finished goods here, and we'll go ahead and set that for no goblets. Well, actually, we're going to forbid stone and clay, metal, gems, other materials, and all we're going to use is plant cloth, leather, silk, yarn, and that's it. So that'll be our cloth industry and leather goods. So anything made out of that will come to this area. And what else? Oh, you know what? I need to go and change that here. Now I can have it in both areas, but you know, you don't want to duplicate process if you can help it. So leather, silk, yarn. All right. So anything, you know, and this will be basically clothes, you know, robes, socks, things of that nature. Anything made out of leather and cloth for clothing should come here. All right, so if we keep moving down, we have our dining hall and our hall of memories, which we are not yet to another year. So we still have just the one pillar done for our first year. And you may remember we had our lost dwarf, the memorial to Onul. And I don't try the last names. You know, they're difficult sometimes. But this was in memory of Onul, bled to death, slain by the elf Kata Heatleap in the rampage of the elf Kata Heatleap in the year 138 in Anviltrumpets. And you will remember the elf Kata was, of course, although his slab does not tell us, he was a were creature. And when he converted back from were creature to an elf to his normal form, when the moon went away, we went out with our military and killed him. And this is one of the things that is a glitch in the game. Toady has never addressed it for whatever reason. It just says he went missing. Now, it does tell us that he killed Onul, but it doesn't tell how he died, and it makes no reference to the fact that he was a were creature. So, yeah, that is something that would like to see improved in the future, but it is what it is for right now. We have our burial hall here, and you can see this access hall. We'll talk about it a little bit later. As we continue down, that's the rest of that access hall and our main staircase. And this is going to be an access area. Now we have our primary archer squad here with archery targets. Oh, in fact, I need to, one of these did not get done. So this is a good time to show you this. So this one right here, when you do a dormitory or a training room for a militia squad, you have to put in a weapon rack and an armor stand. At least one of the two. I do one of each just because you would expect to find those in a military room. And we created a training room for Udib's archers, and that's their training room. Now, because they're archers, they also have archery targets, and each one of these has to be done individually. So what you do is we're going to go to this target, which I had not done yet, and we're going to make an archery range, and you can see it highlights. Now, as long as they're 3 spaces away, they'll get use, but what we're going to do is enlarge it to the back wall, and then we're going to hit enter. And then we're going to use WASD to choose the shooting direction. Now in this we want it to be from bottom to top, so that's going to be W. Okay, so W is bottom to top, A is right to left, S is top to bottom, D is left to right. So we want from bottom to top, and then we are going to use our plus and minus keys to pick our squad and then mark that to train. Okay, and so we are done with that. And then we hit escape when we're done. Right here, escape when you're done. And now all of our archery targets are set up. And if they have a crossbow and a quiver with bolts, they will come in here and train shooting at their target. Now, what I also have is you see this emptied out spot behind it. I have channeled down a level. So as they shoot, I think we talked about this, but it might have been one of the 2 episodes that I lost. So if I'm repeating myself, I apologize. If they shoot at the target and they miss, it will either break on the wall or it will fall down here, and then we can access it via this staircase and pick up those bolts from here and reuse them, and that's the staircase here. And we have our bolt storage here, which gives easy access. Also in the job screen, I have set up for some quivers to be made. They have been validated because that shop, the leather shop, has been set up, but they are not built yet. I believe that's the last floor, but we want to come back here. So this is going to be our killing room. Now I'm not quite done yet, but this is the basic access. This area here goes all the way out to the surface into this entrance. So when a caravan or an invading army comes in, they will come into this area because our main drawbridge will be closed. So this is going to be an opening into our fortress, and they will come into here, and they will follow this down and around. Now I will have to make sure to keep this clear, and eventually I may come in and pave this area. In fact, let me see. the depot is accessible, and you do that by Shift D. Shift D, and that will tell you if your depot is accessible. If it's not, you follow your green line here, and it'll show you where it's cut off at. And just something to keep in mind, a wagon from a caravan has to have 3 width access, so that's the reason that this is all 3 width across. And so they will come down, around, down here, down, all the way to here. Now the goal is at the point they are crossing the bridge, we will want to seal this drawbridge. This lever is going to be up in our lever room, and that's these 2 levers here. This one will do the left bridge, and this one will do the right bridge. So these 2 bridges here, and then I have another lever up there that will control the depot access bridge. There's nothing really below here right now, so, and these are military guys, so worst case scenario is they'll wipe out 1 squad of dwarves if I can seal this, even if they break in the doors here, and I'll have 2 sets of doors I can lock. But we will, we want to try to seal this to keep them from gaining access into the rest of the fortress. Now this is an up ramp, so the caravans will come through here and then up, and they'll go up several levels back up to here. And the reason I have it here is because this is very close to all of my stock rooms where everything is, so the dwarfs are not having to go as far to bring it for trading purposes. So that's what that's for. So anyway, on an attack, we'll want to, when they get into this area, we will want to close this drawbridge. It does take a few minutes or a few seconds to get the drawbridge closed, so they will move from here into this room, and then as soon as we throw this bridge, we will pull this one as well, and hopefully trap a large number of those invaders in here. And then what we will do is we will come back, and on this floor above, I will dig this out, just a round area. In fact, we can do that now. We can go to here, to here, to there, and we'll just have a single access from there. Now, is that the right thing? Because I want... No. You know what I need to do? I need to go 1 more. I need to go 1 more out, and then I need to come back and erase this inner there. Okay. And the reason for that is because this area now will be a rock wall, which is inline right above that. And then on that wall we can smooth it and then carve fortifications for the archers to fire through from this higher ground, and we can position them on this end. We can position them on this end to shoot as they're coming in, and we can move them down to the corners here to fire on anybody that gets up near this bridge trying to hide. So we will typically do 1 here and 1 here, and then they can bracket and catch them in a crossfire. So that's the goal, and this will be the room that we want to, that we try to kill everything in, but it still gives through access for our trade depot, for caravans to come in, and then be out of that area rather than building the depot in here and just being in the way. Because, as luck would have it, the moment you get attacked by a large goblin army, those traders will be in there and they'll all be killed. So, let's see, what else? Anything else going on? Now, we have gone down into the Cavern Layer, remember, and we sealed that up. And that's as far as we've dug. So that's the lowest point that we have here. Where are we at on time? This has been a pretty short episode. I don't think there was anything else that I want. I just kind of wanted to go over what has transpired since then. So we'll go ahead and put a cut right here. Again, I apologize for the short episode. I did lose 2 episodes due to some recording issues. So I just wanted to play a little catch up here on this episode and show you guys what I had been doing. And at this point, I'm probably going to, I don't want to do episodes that just become redundant with nothing happening. So what I'm going to do is just play ahead a little bit, and when something transpires, then I'll pop another recording to kind of cover the highlights, and then like we did here, we'll play a little catch up. Also, since we had not done it, let's open up our Dwarf Therapist, and you can see we're now up to 53 people and one baby, one infant. So we have picked up another blacksmith in our last group with pretty good weaponsmithing skills. So I have taken weaponsmithing away from Daycost, although he will still make armor and the basic metal crafting. We have the brewer still, a butcher. We picked up a few more crafters. Let's see. We have a couple of farmers still. We still have one person fishing. We have our 2 jewelers, some basic kitchen workers that are also farming, but are also into the wood burning and potash making for our farming industry. We have picked up a 3rd miner. I think we may have lost that episode when we picked that person up. We have 2 peons, which are my general laborers. They aren't really skilled at much of anything. They can do a few odds and ends. I didn't want them fishing. I think they were both fishermen to start off with. We've got our woodcutter. So our archer squad, we are full with our first squad. We have a 2nd archer squad that we have started with another experienced archer. And we have, 2, 6, 9. We have 11 melee dwarfs. So we have a full melee squad, and have started a backup melee squad. And if we look at that, so we have Udib's archers, where Udib is our squad leader, and we have all of them in here. We have Dismab's destroyer, so he has a full group now. Catton's Crusaders is our next melee group, and Tun's Triumphancy is our next archer group. Now we don't have any other archers, so these will be positions that we fill with future migration waves. Possibly we'll try to get a tavern built, and that will lead to possibly military mercenaries coming in that we can hire or bring into our group. We'll have elves, humans, sometimes even goblins that'll come and join our fortress to fight for us. But that's probably about 4 squads is the most you'll ever need, depending on what your setup is. And if you're using the Lazy Noob pack, you set your invaders and your invasion cap. So we're talking 120 monsters. Now, if you get Forgotten Beasts, which are some of the major monsters, dragons, you're only going to get one of those at a time. This is for your goblins and your kobolds and your trolls. They'll come in groups of up to 120, and you can actually raise that. And once we get them trained up, then we might. So that's something you can tweak as you see fit. And we do have our population capped at 120. So mentioning that we are at 53, we're not quite halfway to our capacity. But we do have just about all of our work positions filled. I do need to, now I will take some of these guys that can do furnace work, and I will go ahead and add them right now. And between them working at the masonry shops, the Craftsdorf shops, they can also pop over and do some work on the furnaces as well, which will be something. I did buy a couple of iron anvils, and we do have you can see up here we do have some lignite, which is the coal. So we don't need magma, although of course we would love magma, but we can use coal in the time being. What I may do in the meantime is we've already found the cavern layer, so we've got the ability to have our internal pasture here with the fungus and moss growth from the caverns. So what I might do is I might make a dive and see if I can find magma. That's not really pressing right now. What I am concerned about, because I do have people assigned to these blacksmithing positions, they can now have the mood where they have to create something, and if I don't have that workshop or the items, then they can go insane and die or kill everybody in our fortress. So I think my next step is to come in somewhere in our workshop area, maybe on another level, maybe a couple of levels down, maybe the level up here, maybe a level above the residence. Although I'd like to keep that if I have to spread out for more bedrooms. So maybe on this level we'll do a small forge area and start bringing, getting our iron and steel together. And I can dig out some of the flux here with the marble. So, it's give me a few ideas to think about. I'm also just noticing that we do have a full moon, so we could be visited here in the near future by another were creature. So hopefully that doesn't come up right away, because then we'd have to do another recording. But anyway, thanks for watching, and sorry for having to play catch up here, and we will see you next time.